Hey there, it's Mario here, and in this video you're gonna learn what is the best time of the day for you to go to the gym, best time of the day to work out. And I've been getting a lot of questions on this topic, and it's kind of funny because this is really one of those least important things that you should ever worry about. I mean, it does play a difference, obviously linking your training to your circadian rhythm has been shown with the research and with the studies to play a role, but it's really a minor role in training. So first of all, I want to say, like, who is this video for? Well, this video is for guys who really are seeking to get those final few grams of muscle growth, like a couple of percentages of difference in terms of strength. It's not a big deal, right? If you're still struggling with maintaining consistency, progressive overload, things like that, like incorporating proper deloads in your training, really progressing, I mean, this is probably not something you should worry about because it's not going to be a groundbreaking change in your training, even though if you apply it or not. So having said that, what does the research say on what is the best time of the day to train? Well, if you summarize all the studies, they really all clearly point out that training in the afternoon, in the evening, if you're the kind of person that wakes up in the morning, like if you kind of obey the sun rising and like a rule when you wake up at like 6 to like 8 a.m., then for you, probably training between like 3 p.m. and like 8 p.m. would be the best time of the day. And if you look at all the world records in terms of sports and athletic performance, they're usually broken in the evening. And that's for a good reason, because there's a few factors that your body, as you go to bed, let's say you're sleeping for a while, your core temperature will drop. And then it takes a few hours for that core temperature to rise. And that's just one example of things that are changing. So if you're training in the first thing in the morning, I mean, you can mitigate some of this by just taking caffeine to get that performance back. You also get used to it if you stick with it for a while. But there are differences definitely in training in the morning, and I noticed that myself when I was switching between morning and evening workouts. Before I got really used to it, I noticed a big difference in terms of like muscular performance, and especially in terms of strength. So strength seemed to have a lot of difference when it comes to like morning, evening, but I eventually got used to it. And that's one thing that I want to say, that the first thing is that you will eventually get used to it. You may not have the most ideal time because everybody's life is unique, like your situation is unique as well. And as a coach, that's the first thing I look at. I'm not looking at what is the most optimal time and then adjusting the person's whole life to that, but I'm more looking at, okay, what is your life like? And then you adjust these things toward yourself. And that is this piece of advice as well. I mean, even though you're seeking those last couple of percentages of growth, keep in mind that consistency is the key. So if you're training in the morning now and you're able to be consistent, and if training in the evening would make your life a pain in the ass, then don't do it, right? Even though you will get a little bit of growth, it's not worth sacrificing consistency. Besides that, I mean, it's very clear from the evidence that you definitely do want to wait at least 6 hours after you wake up before you do your strength training. For endurance type of work, it's not as important. It seems that the circadian rhythm doesn't play that much of a role. And I mean, for you guys that are been asking me lately, I did make a couple of videos on fasted cardio. It is a myth, it doesn't help at all. Actually, people who are going into cardio in a fed state did exert better performance. So keep an eye on that if you're doing fasted cardio. Although fasted cardio itself, I mean, is good if you can adhere to it consistently. The difference is very small between fasted and fed, but it was just the fact that a lot of people were overblowing the fact that you should be training fasted to get some kind of magical fat burning effect, which doesn't exist. So looking at all these things, I mean, we know what the fundamentals are. That is consistency, progressive overload, volume, intensity, frequency. These are very important things. Things like when you should do your workout is of very small importance, so keep that in mind with this piece of advice here that I shared with you. I'm going to leave all the research studies in the description below so you guys can check those out if you're interested in reading more. And besides that, I'm actually curious, when do you do your workouts? So leave me a comment below. Let me know what time of the day do you usually do your workouts and when do you wake up? So just so we can kind of compare the data. Okay, when do you usually wake up and when do you do your workouts? Besides that, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to click subscribe below to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.